Yo, what's up guys, Aaron here and welcome to a brand new series of Star Savior. Now this channel will solely be focused on the game Star Savior, so if you want to check out any other games, make sure to head over to my main channel. Let's get into the introduction. At its core, Star Savior is a turn-based waifu collector game since it's an all-female casted characters inside of it, to which we call Saviors. We are Captain of NOAA, or known as Nebula Observation Agency for the full name, training these saviors to combat against the Void, which are the main antagonists or enemies in this game. The visuals are absolutely stunning with 4K graphics running at 120 FPS on launch, which will make the game proceed smoothly. Another thing to note is that this game has a variety of aspects from other games, most notably the training loop of Uma Musume, turn-based combat style and break mechanic like Honkai Star Rail, gearing system like Epic 7, and various of other games like styling, for example, relates to Nikkei. The current state of the game has a lot of launch bugs, fixed and adjusted the gacha rates, making it a phenomenal time to jump in and give it a shot. So with introductions out of the way, let's get into the combat system. So the combat system is pretty straightforward and there's only a few things you really need to pay attention to. So first of all, let's take a look at the bottom left corner of the battle scene. There will be a turn order system that shows who goes first, a standard action value system. Faster units move sooner and, well, enemies have shields, to which where the break mechanic comes in. Once you successfully break their shield, it will delay their turn and damage taken by them will be increased till the next time they act. And finally, Nova Burst. It is a unique mechanic that allows you to summon a powerful support effect that buffs or damages once your burst meter is charged enough. It's very simple and easy to understand. Here comes the next section of this video, which is understanding how the game's progressions work. I'll split this into 3 different parts, to which I like to call it the 3 pillars of Star Savior. These 3 pillars are as follows, which A, the classic system, which is of course the daily grind, B, battle mode, which I'll cover about the idle aspect of the game similar to Nikkei, and finally C, the journey mode, which is the Uma Musume training loop, all of which I'll go in depth so you'll have a better understanding of the pillars. First, the daily grind. You will need to spend the free chances that is given to you every day for constant resource gains alongside your stamina. Make sure it won't go to waste and maximize every possible resources you can get. And it's very easy too, since the game offers a feature that everyone likes, the sweep feature. Once you clear a stage, you'll never need to re-clear it ever again. With a simple push of a button and your dailies are done. Next, we have the battle mode, or the idle/AFK system. Just like Nikkei, the passive income is tied to how far you progress through the battle stages and it will reap you extra resources. So make sure to not sleep on it and try and push yourself as far as possible on the first day to min-max your passive income. And finally, our third pillar, the journey mode. It is very easy and quick to play through the entire training session as well. Once you have done a battle or a choice before, you can immediately skip the battle and meet up with the victory screen, or the next part of the training. Like Uma Musume, it isn't hard to understand and you guys will be able to get fluid with it very quickly. With the 3 main pillars out of the way, let's get into the next part, which is the styling system. I will get into savior tips in just a moment since this will take no time at all for me to explain. And styling system is exactly as how it sounds, a synchronization system where you will only need 4 of the main saviors you'll build to support the rest of the saviors that you put in there. Sounds familiar enough? Good. Nikkei has a similar system as well, and you will only need your main roster of saviors to fully cover the rest of the saviors. However, do keep in mind, individual saviors are still recommended to be built in terms of the gearing, which I'll cover that in just a moment, and it's recommended to build only 4 to 8 saviors as of the game's launch. Putting too much resources widely will cause you to break your own account, so be careful. Now that I've covered the styling system, let's move on to Savior's Guide. There will be no full gear guide until game launches, as I do plan on not make too much progress on the JP side of things since I want to experience it all on global, so do not worry, there will still be a gear guide when the game officially releases. However, it is recommended to just slap any gears temporarily on your saviors for you to just smoothly clear the battle stages and only upgrade them if you fail a stage. Similar to how Epic 7 has its own way of getting far early as a new player. Next part is important, so listen closely. Skill upgrades. Now, this is definitely one of the most important factors that you need to absolutely pay attention to absolutely not break your account. Here's the reason why. Skill upgrades are the first thing that you might want to prioritize, but do not commit fully to any savior unless you are sure that you're gonna use her for the rest of the days. So the reason being is, alright, so for example, these materials right here, the cubes, are so scarce that it's just not possible for you to achieve the ideal level early on. And it's recommended for you to just level all the skills to level 3. It is pretty much the safest level standing, and you won't use too much high level resource. So until you have some extra cubes and can afford to, you can level them up to 3, 6, 6, which basically means basic level 3, skill level 6, and ultimate level 6. Hopefully that makes it easier to understand. Keep it that way until you have more resources to burn, as these levels are already enough for you to clear majority of the content early on. Next, we have the gacha system. It won't take me too long to explain, so I'll just go through it quickly. In the OG Korean server, there was a huge drama regarding having only 1 to 2% chance of SSR rates with absolutely no guarantee or pity carryover. So they reworked it, and now it's 4% for SSR rates, which is a significant boost compared to before and higher than most of the gacha games that is still sitting at 1 to 2%. For further clarification, rate ups sit at 2% chance in a 4% banner SSR rate. The same applies to Arcana banner, which we can count as the weapons of this game, or the cards that in Uma Musume, if you understand that better. Light and Dark Savior sits at 1% chance, and it's similar to Nikkei, where the chances for pilgrims are identical. Although they don't have guarantee or pity system, the mileage you get from the gacha can be saved and can be used for all of the rate up characters. So for F2Ps out there, make sure to save it until you absolutely need to use it. This system is very similar to Nikkei, and you can be heavily rewarded for just saving those mileage. It heavily rewards players that save for a long time till a limited character eventually comes out, so make sure to do that. As of how things may seem, alright, even though it seems really bad on paper, but trust me, it is still very F2P friendly with how much currency you can get from the start till the end. So don't be afraid to go a bit wild at the start. There's also one more thing I want to quickly mention, is that Global will actually have a collab with Counterside, the other game that Studio B-Side first made. Having collab right off the bat and alongside release will definitely shift the attention towards them, making everyone having to pull for them since they are likely to be limited immediately. More on that when game releases, so let's move on to the next section of the video. Alright, money spending. Also one of the topics I imagine most people are curious about and wondering if they are valuable or not. A very quick warning though, AFK type games are a sinkhole for players to throw away money just for the sake of a faster progression and at a consistent rate. The game's design is designed pretty much to go against that, to which the money will keep flowing for the devs. I'm in no place to judge or have a say towards whales, but for low spenders, here are some opinions or options that might be helpful for you guys. Starting off with the monthly card. As usual, the monthly card is pretty much what is a safe go-to when it comes to every other gacha games. So there are two types of monthly cards in this game, both priced at $5. But one gives out crystals every day and another one gives out stamina every day. Ideally, if you want to save for pulls, then the left side is the go-to. If you want to have more progression on top of the usual grind, then right side is calling your name. Though personally, I would still choose the left side regardless, and mainly because you get to convert the crystal to stamina if you wish for it. Well, any other time if you want to like have it, right? So at least you have like the saving currency saved up. So either way, you wouldn't be losing too much, and yeah, personally, I would still go for the left side. Alright. So both sides gives you 250 crystals instantly as well. Nothing changes there. We have the campaign packs and battle passes. So these are basically a special battle pass for campaign clearings or battle stage clearings, and also the F2P battle pass, not F2P battle pass, my bad. A starting battle pass. Basically for new players, this will be a battle pass that gives you a bunch of amount of resource and also some extra gears that you might be interested in. Alright, let's continue. For campaign passes, for a price of $20 that net you close a bit more than 30 pulls is definitely worth it in my opinion, so make sure that you actively progress and unlock all levels just to not waste it off. And as for the normal battle pass, $11 base upgrade is pretty much enough, and you don't really need to spend an extra $10 just for 500 crystals and stamina. It just isn't worth it, to be honest. And also to quickly close the battle pass part, there are also 2 separated passes for beginners that is also only priced at $6, which is the one I mentioned earlier. So if you are considering to spend money on it, these 2 are definitely a priority, as it gives you a lot of resources and endgame gears early on, which is the tier 2 gold gears. Now then, limited time event packs. Well, only the first 4 packs of any other limited events are worth it for small spenders, and the rest is not really worth the price in my opinion. There are other sections of the paid shop that is definitely worth it, like this one for example. So $1 for 10 pulls of 4 type of banner and $3 for 30 in each type of banner is 100% worth it. And also there are 2 SSL selectors for Savior and Arcana that are worth it too. But keep them for a few days to avoid getting dupes, since we do get a lot of pulls on launch. And last part of this spending side is this monthly reset shop. It's worth mentioning that you're able to buy a 10 pull with just 1800 crystals in comparison to the 2000. However, if you're F2P, this is not a priority since the pulls exchanged are meant for standard banners. So be careful on your decision when looking through this monthly reset shop, and make sure to not accidentally spend crystals where you shouldn't be. Alright, as we are approaching the end of the video, a bit of closing words and advice for beginners. Now that you've started the game, what should you do? Well, progress your battle stages. That's 100% priority, as you need as much resource as you can net early on. Keep pushing yourself to unlock new features and let the rewards sink in after grinding. Always check your beginner's mission to claim your rewards and let it point out the next direction you should be going for if you ever feel lost. On launch, there will be a SSL selector in the mailbox for you to claim. Choose Lacey, as you will never go wrong with her, and she's still strong for PvE and PvP at the time of this recording in JP and Korean servers. So if you already have her, save this ticket unless you absolutely know who you're missing. And finally, aim to clear mainstream 14, which is the battle stage 14, to unlock the crafting recipe for tier 2 gears as quickly as you can. You will also obtain some gears boxes on the way to battle stage 14 by clearing chapter 5 and chapter 8, so prioritize the 4 savior that you're using to progress through the mainstream stages. And that'll be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I release a new video.